Town nice. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Phone on silent, but the county talk loud. Hardin local got the whole town down. From Radcliffe Rose to the E-Town Square. If it's going down, you'll hear it right here. Nate got the scoop when the business grow. Nate's business buzz, let the whole town know. New shop popping, yeah, the word gon' flow. Local grind strong, let the spotlight glow. Then J.O.B. with the weekend plans. Events in the county for the whole fam. Concerts, festivals, places to go. Circle that calendar so you don't miss the show. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Hardin local, let it ride. Head bopping local tonight. Hardin County on a vibe, from the news to the food to the city lights. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Got the numbers when the market move. Housing update, let the data prove who's buying what and where things go. Smart moves start when you stay in the know. Then the food talk hit when the mic get lit. Experience eater, tell them where to sit. New spot, fire, yeah, we gotta go. Local plates hot, let the flavor show. Small town roots, but the vision big. Every local story with the gig. From the sports park lights to the downtown glow. Hardin local on the mic, now the whole town knows. County on the vibe, from the news to the food to the city lights. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Hardin County. Feel on the vision since day one go. Built it from nothing, now the whole town know. Found it with the plan and the mic in hand. Hardin local roots all across the land. Sky on the co-host with the guns out flex. Sleeveless every season, what you gonna expect? Keep it real, keep it loud, keep the people fed. If the shirt got sleeves, then it's left on red. From the mic to the street, from the town to the show. Hardin local on the beat, yeah, the whole county know. Real stories, real folks, every voice in the flow. Hardin County stand up. Stay in the know. Hardin County. Hardin local, let it ride. Head bopping local tonight. Ooh, let us ride. Hardin County.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hardin Local Weekly Podcast. I am Rachel Brainingham, and we are so glad you're here with us today. Please excuse my allergies. It is full-on allergy season, so if I sound a little funky, that is why. We've got a big show today in a really big week. The primary is 1 week from today, Tuesday, May 19th, and today is the last day of our pre-primary election interview series. We're going to wrap up at the top of the show and tell you exactly where to find every interview before you vote. You want to be informed. We've also got a stacked weekend from John. You're going to bring us all this information. We've got Spring Fest in Glendale on Saturday, the Spring Fling and Ride for veterans at the American Legion Post, 113, a Jimmy Buffett tribute at the Historic State Theater. We've got Brent Terhune's doing stand-up at Fort Knox, bourbon tastings, live music. This is my favorite time of the year, guys. It's just a packed calendar. Nate, of course, he's bringing us some business buzz. It was so cute. I went to a meeting with a potential client yesterday, and they were like, oh, we see you on Hardin Local. And I got kind of excited. And then they were like, we really just watch it for Nate. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, but humbling. All right, got it. I'm so excited. You're going to be bringing us a headline about Saber Cubano, who opened its doors supposedly this morning. We're waiting to confirm that, but it will be here in the next few days. So Nate's got a lot more information on that for us. They operated 2 years as a food truck, and they now are a brick and mortar. Plus, a third Papa John's, Fuel Fortress, a medical marijuana dispensary coming to the Mulberry Square, and a big consignment auction Saturday in Upton. And Britton and Michelle are experienced eaters. We're there at the opening. Britt, you guys are going to be bringing us a live reaction on Saber Cubano. And so I'm super excited to watch that. And then, guys, I will have your housing market update. And Scott's got a fun icebreaker tied to that food story. So stick around. But first, I want to introduce you guys to these amazing men that I get to co-host this show with. So we have Phil Tall, who is the founder of Hardin Local. I've got Scott Lucas, who is my co-host. I've got John O'Brien, who brings us all the events and happenings in the community. I've got Nathaniel, which goes by Nate Bryan, who is bringing us all of our business news and updates, and potentially Michelle, but we've got no Michelle today.
She may be sliding by, but I believe she's in the middle of she's about a very deep project right now.
No problem. Well, Britton is going to be bringing us, of course, with the experienced eaters. And of course, I'm Rachel Brainingham, your host and your Hardin County housing market expert. Before we get started, I want to make sure you all know where to find us. And I know I go over this every single podcast, but it's because we want you guys who make all of this possible. Because if we didn't have an audience, it wouldn't even be worth all of the effort that we put in to bringing this show to you week after week. So just to keep you informed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So if you have a preference of where you like to watch your podcast or listen to your podcast, we're available on all of those platforms. Of course, there's this beautiful QR code here that you can scan. You can find all the links from today's episode and every episode in the past from on hardinlocal.com. Phil has done an incredible job building out that website. You're not going to want to miss the links. He's got all the events there. He's got my housing market update. I know we're working to build out something for Nate, so make sure you check out that website. And it's got our complete election interview library organized by the race that they are running in. So you'll want to check those out. Of course, LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, and of course, Facebook. So make sure you follow us there on those different pages. We love to interact with you all during our podcast. So it's a great place to drop your comments, your feedback, like tell us what your thoughts are. If you want to ask further questions, we invite you all to be a part of this with us. So we'd love to hear from you. And of course, we pull those up on the screen and we share those with the whole audience. Before we dig in today's show, today's show is brought to you by Techtel. And Phil, this one is close to home for you. Would you like to share with us a little bit about that company?
Yes. Before I do that, I wanted to say hi to Carrie. Happy Tuesday, Carrie. Glad you're here. All right. Yeah, full disclosure, I am a partner at Techtel. It's my day job when I'm not doing this or a couple other things I'm working on. So I've got skin in the game here. I'll keep it short and honest. Techtel is an Elizabethtown business tech company, and there are two things we do that I want local business owners watching this to know about. One, cybersecurity for small business, multi-factor login, email, inbox protection backups, somebody actually watching it, the stuff that stops a phishing email or a stolen password from turning into a really bad week. Managed, monitored, and explained in plain English. No in-house IT department required. We've watched this hit local businesses this year even more so than in the past. You do not want to be the next one. Two, cloud voice with AI, analytics, and receptionists, your business phone system in the cloud with an AI that picks up when nobody's at the desk, answers the calls, routes it, takes messages, handles after hours, so you stop missing customers because the phone rang and nobody was there. If either of those is, should I look into that? Yeah, you should. Text me or call me, 270-505-8002. That is 270-505-8002. And that's the read. On with the show. I think you're muted.
As a multiple business owner myself, having Phil as a resource, he's someone I turn to often with all kinds of cybersecurity things. Phil and TechTel as their company are brilliant at this stuff. So we're proud that they are a sponsor of Hardin Local, but you as a small business owner need support in your corner. You want to give them a text or call. Phil, drop your number in the chat just because if anybody needs to find that. All right, let's jump in. The first thing I want to talk about with you guys is the election. So this is the biggest civic story we've got, our primary election interview series. Today is the last day of it. The primary is 1 week away from today. I can almost feel the excitement. I'm sure these candidates have worked their butts off. I see signs on every corner that I turn on. That race is Tuesday, May 19th. So this is our final pre-primary push, okay? Over the last few weeks, we sat down with 27 candidates, every contested primary race in Hardin County. That included county offices, city offices, state representative seats, and the U.S. Senate field, all on the record, all nonpartisan, all in the candidate's own words. That includes an all-day election marathon on April 29th. This was a 7-hour, 5-minute live broadcast, the longest in Hardin Local history. And if I'm correct, Phil, you ran that entire thing. I can't even imagine how much energy that required. Thank you. Every single one of these interviews, though, just because you missed the day that they were aired live does not mean you've missed the opportunity to watch these interviews. They're all available at hardinlocal.com. Just click on election interviews. They're organized by race, so you don't have to dig. Before you vote next Tuesday, you can pull up your ballot in your races and watch the candidates side by side. That's the whole point, guys. Informed voters, there's no spin on it. We just presented this information in a fair way so that all candidates could have their voice. Phil?
Yeah, and so like the website has recently been updated as of yesterday to where now I put find your ballot, and you can click on that, and then you can pick your district, and there's a map if you need help finding your district. But then it'll just pull up the videos you need to watch, the ones that are going to be on your primary ballot, as opposed to the ones that aren't, so you don't waste time. So I'm glad about that, and we got that done. If you see if you do get on that site and see any issues, please let me know so I can fix them. I think they're all good. I did quite a bit of fact checking. And on the voting itself, you don't actually have to wait till May 19th. In person, no excuse, early voting is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, May 14th, 15th, and 16th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. At 2 spots, the Hardin County Clerk's Office in Elizabethtown at 150 North Provident Way, and the Colvin Community Center in Radcliffe, 230 Freedoms Way. No reason needed. If you've got a qualifying reason, work, military, medical, excused in-person absentee voting at the clerk's office is open today and tomorrow too, through Wednesday. Well, wait, that would be today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, May 13th, same hours, but I think it's only at the E-Town location, not at the Fort Knox. I don't think it's at that one, or at the Radcliffe one. Now, if you already requested a mail-in ballot, here's the one thing people get wrong. A postmark does not count. Your ballot has to be physically received by the clerk's office by 6 p.m. on election day, May 19th. Not mailed by then, received by then. So at this point, don't trust the mail. Drop it in one of the official secure drop boxes instead, at either the entrance of the clerk's office in Elizabethtown at 150 North Provident Way and the Hardin County Government Building, or Radcliffe branch of the clerk's office on Lincoln Trail Boulevard. Using the drop box bypasses the mail and puts it straight in their hands. Check the envelope, sign where it tells you to, and get it in early. And on election day, Tuesday, May 19th, a week from today, polls open at 6 a.m., go to 6 p.m., and Hardin County uses vote centers. So any registered voter can use any of the 15 locations. Bring a photo ID. If you have questions, you can call them 270-765-6762, 270-765-6762. That's in 1 week, so make the plan. And also a real thank you to the 2 local businesses that made the entire series possible. Omni Design Group, new construction and remodeling. Call Call or text Corey at 270-769-8339 and the plumbing doctor for Hardin County Plumbing, 765-PLUM. That's 765-7586. Both Hardin County local. They sponsored weeks of free nonpartisan election coverage. Go give them your business.
Thank you, Phil. I love to take my little ones with me to vote. My parents did that with me, and it just made it feel like it was part of my civic duty. And so make plans to get out there and vote. I hate to hear people complain later when they didn't exercise their right to be informed and to help support making the right person, putting the right person in office to push the things that are of importance to them. So anything else that we want to announce, guys, before we dig in?
I don't know if you saw the update from Britain in the chat. It said that Sabre is open. So
Perfect. Awesome.
Rachel, just so you know, and we'll get into that. Also, isn't your nephew playing a show at
Yes.
somewhere?
Yes.
The details on that?
Yes, and you're catching me off guard. Let me think here. Okay, so it is at Cosmic Golf this Saturday, and I'm trying to think at the time. I think he said 6:00, but they're going to be performing, and we could probably find that real fast on Facebook. But I'm super proud of him.
We have it on the events. I think we have
good.
it. I think
Good.
John will
Yeah, it's
cover
probably
it.
in the events section.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure to bring that up. I think it's at Heartland Mini Golf at 6 p.m.
Perfect.
on
It's
Saturday.
on my calendar. I will be there. Okay. I'm proud aunt. He and his friends, they're actually really incredible. And it's cool. I got to see their whole set list. I felt like such a little fangirl, and they're going to be playing some classics as well as some newer stuff. So shout out to Judah and his friends. I'm really proud of them and all the hard work that they've invested. So make sure you come out to Heartland Mini Golf on Saturday. And the reason I got that confused, they're performing at Cosmic Golf in a couple weeks. So we'll share that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, Scott, you have got an icebreaker for us, and I'm super excited about this one.
All right. So in honor of, I always want to salute any business that goes from digital to brick and mortar or food truck to brick and mortar. For Sabor Cubano, what's the best thing that you've ate off of a food truck? Now, I'll go first. I love French fries, but I'm very picky about them. And I can't remember who it was, but I've had some really good French fries from food trucks. How about you, Rachel?
Yeah.
I would agree. I'm quickly scrolling because, Britt, you're going to have to help me with this one. Remember the pistachio dessert we got at the food truck voting thing? What was that? And who was it from? Because it was the freaking most amazing thing I've ever eaten in my life.
It was freaking amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I think they won the most creative for the Heartland Food Truck Championship, and so
Phil, I'm gonna find this picture. I think I got a picture of it, and I'm gonna send this to you, and then we can always post it later. But I'll also look to see who it was whose food truck it came off of. And then that cheesecake dessert. Where'd that one come from, Britt? You went and bought a bunch of those after we ate.
Oh, that was Ladora Sweet Treats, and
Ladora.
That was
Something else is what that was.
Yes, it was out of this world.
Yep. So you have to try Ladora's sometime, guys, and I will find this pistachio dish because I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
Of course, when you're looking for something, you can never find it. But
I'm ready to put up.
I know what John's going to go with, so I'm going to go with something different. Because I speak up for Courtney since she's not here, but her favorite grilled cheese is Bussin' Bites. I think they double butter it, whatever they do. And we've tried restaurants, and we like the ones downtown. We've tried the ones at Panera. We've tried the ones at Duff's, but the Bussin' Bites grilled cheese it's up there.
Bussin' Bites also has my favorite BLT that ever existed in the world, and I eat BLTs everywhere I go. Like I go to BLT, I get a BLT like at any restaurant that offers it, and man, Bussin' Bites.
Yeah, I think for me it's like I always go back to like when I was in my 20s and traveling a lot for work. I just had like I remember one night I think I was in Manhattan and I stopped at this hot dog stand and it had sauerkraut, it had all the fixings. I don't know if I was just starving that night or whatnot, but I still like can taste that thing. It was delicious.
So Rachel, that came from Sweet and Salty Company. Was the trailer that is, and I believe that's actually Sunny Girl's sister.
Okay.
And so yeah, it was a Dubai chocolate dessert that was out of this world.
I'm determined to find this picture. Of course, when you're looking for something, you can't find it.
Sort by date, March 20. It was what was the date of the event? The date was.
It was right before Easter, wasn't it?
March 28th was the date of the event. So search your photos by that, and it should be there.
What was yours, John? Have you gone while they're looking?
It's the corn dog from Bussin' Bites. I mean,
Yes. Can't go
if I
wrong
was
with
forced
that.
to choose a food truck that now has a brick and mortar, it would be the B&B burger from Grind Burger in Louisville. They used to be a food truck, now they're brick and mortar, and they're B&B. It's a brie and bacon and pepper jam. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing.
Phil, I sent you a video of that dessert. I got like a 5-second video of it.
Yeah, I'll try to get it
Throw it up
prepped.
there.
I can't throw it up now, but I'll get it thrown up before
Okay.
we're done.
Cool. Well, anybody else? All right. Well, audience, we know that our audience loves food trucks. So what's the best thing you've ever eaten off of a food truck? We'd love to hear it. We'd love to know what we need to be eating. So make sure you drop that in the comments if there's something that just really stands out to you at one of our local food trucks.
So I'll throw one out real quick.
Okay.
John, you'll appreciate this. I don't know if you ever had. Have you ever had Jay's Burgers in Louisville, the food truck?
I have had Jay's, yeah.
That's
probably my second favorite burger in Louisville now.
That is probably the best way to put that. That's Kentucky's version of In-N-Out, and they are doing it.
What are they, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right, for lunch only?
Yeah, 11 to 4 maybe. I mean, yeah, it's pretty limited, but I mean they everything. And what I thought was really neat was everything there was locally sourced, which was really cool. Everything's like Kentucky proud product.
All right. Well, John, this week in Hardin County is full. I'm super excited. It looks like this weekend is packed. So why don't you jump right in and tell us all the events that are happening here in the area?
Where you gotta be? Events all week in Hardin County. J-O-B, where you gotta be? Come on, turn it up, tune it, Hardin County.
All right. So starting off with tomorrow, Wednesday, May 13th. If you like to take pictures of food and want to learn a little bit more about it, culinary, there is going to be a meetup, people helping you learn how to take perfect pictures of that food that you love. And there's a dessert photography stop at the Chocolate Lab afterwards. Plant bingo at the Straight and Narrow from 6:30 to 8:30. It's a plant themed bingo night with drinks and plant prizes. Bingo starts at 6:30, so make sure you arrive early. Friday, we've got women's networking luncheon from 12 p.m. to 1:30 in Lincoln Trail District Health Department. Networking lunch connecting professional women in Hardin County and Meade County. Collaboration, business growth, and community support. There will be a tasting of Larrikin bourbon at the Revival Vintage Spirits from 4 to 7 p.m. on Helm Street. They specialize in vintage stuff, but they also do have some new things as well. Larrikin is a newer distillery in the state. They do have a really good bourbon maple cream and a really good gin that I like from them. Casey and Romy will be on the rooftop at 6 p.m. at the Heartland Mini Golf, limited seating and VIP style music experience. Tables available. Seats are filling up quickly, though, so make sure you reserve a spot. We've got Menopause and Mocktails at 6 p.m. up there, 1483 Dixie Boulevard. Hands-on cooking class at Clean Good Eats. Menopause friendly recipes and alcohol-free mocktails. Up at Saver and Quill, we got a little comedy going on again. Brent Terhune is going to be there. 6:30 the doors. 7:30 he starts telling those jokes. So if you guys like stand up, check that out. At the State Theater, there will be a Jimmy Buffett tribute. I'm sure that there'll be a lot of parrot heads over there hanging out, walking around. A lot of those shirts that they wear, those tiki shirts. That starts at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the State Theater. Saturday, big day, big day. Got the 23rd annual Spring Fest out there in Glendale, 9 to 5 p.m. Pancake breakfast is at 8 to 11, though. If you need to have some good food on your belly, that's a good spot to do and give them some money. 24th annual Spring Fling Ride for veterans is at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the American Legion, Post 113. Registration's at 9 a.m. and the kickstand's up at 11:30 a.m. Also, we have a Heaven Bound Baptist Church second car and bike show. There's $20 registration. Register at 10 a.m. to noon. Judging will be at 2 p.m. Awards will be at 4. There's concessions, a bake sale, silent auction. No alcohol permitted, though, so don't be trying to sneak in any booze. Really cool event up at Love and Devotion Tattoo. It's the Broadbent Animal Sanctuary flash sale. So they got a lot of animal flash to get tattooed starting at 12 noon. But they'll also have a lot of cool animals up there to show that they've rescued and kind of have rehabilitated. I think they're going to maybe have a bald eagle, some owls, a little photo op, and pretty cool little thing. There'll be some food trucks up there also. But it supports the Broadbent Animal Sanctuary and local wildlife. So a really cool thing to go get a tattoo and support something local. Free beginner basketball. If you got anybody that's wanting to play a little basketball, learn a little basketball from 3:15 to 4 at the Bluegrass Sportsplex. They're going to teach you a little ball handling, some confidence, passing, and shooting. I know if you don't know anything, these things, it helps you out to learn from somebody that knows, and that's a good spot to go. Boots and Brims is going on. It's the Highland venue, Highland Sod Farm. It's a live band, DJ, dancing, food, and community. Make sure you buy your tickets for that. Live music will be at the Harlem Mini Golf. We talked about this earlier. B. Robbins, Patrick Rout, and Judah Branningham. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Local live music. It'll be great. Go support Rachel's nephew. It's gonna be a great time out there. The Little Blue House concert series is kind of kicking things off here. 7 p.m. Nigel Wern is an Australian artist, blues, jazz, Americana noir, outdoor concert atmosphere. Bring a chair or blanket. It's a fun thing. If you haven't ever done it, definitely check it out. We also have The Strays Live, 8:30 at Cosmic Golf. Sunday, we got the poetry open mic night, 3:45 to 6 p.m. at Flywheel. Always a fun time. A.S. Coomer does that. Usually does some of his own stuff and then kind of opens it up for everybody else. It's a really fun time, though. But yeah, that's a lot of things going on. Can't hear you, Rachel.
I swear I clicked it. So Springfest in Glendale.
Where you gotta be? Vince all weekend, Hardin County. J.O.B. Where you gotta be? Come on, turn it up, tune it, Hardin County.
I really like those jingles. Okay, they keep me energized. So Springfest in Glendale is one of the bigger single day events in the county all year. 200 plus vendors, the car show, the pancake breakfast. For people who have never gone, this is wild, guys. I've never been. What's the move? Get there early. Where do you park? What do you not want to miss? I have my babies this weekend. So, like, is it kid friendly? Like, give us some rundown on this big event.
Definitely kid friendly. The parking out there, though, yeah, they have a big field that you kind of park. You got to walk a little bit into town. But it's a great time. Yeah, kid friendly everywhere for sure.
Okay, perfect.
What about the Spring Fling and Ride for Veterans at American Legion Post 113? That's been going on for a while. I guess you could call it a Hardin County institution. What do you know more about that? Who's it for? Do you have to ride to come out? And
Oh,
where's
you
the
don't
money
have to
go?
ride to come out. No, you can go check it out. But they do like to have people come to the ride, but you don't have to ride to come out. It's up for anybody.
And then Friday night, there's two different events to choose from. The Jimmy Buffett tribute at the Historic State Theater, and then of course Brent Terhune at Fort Knox. Two very, very different nights out. If somebody can only pick one Friday plan, which would you recommend?
I'd
Tough.
say come on downtown. I feel like downtown's got a lot more than up at Fort Knox. I mean, if you live closer to downtown, it's a little bit easier too on the drive. But if you like the funny yokes, up there is a fun time.
Has anybody ever heard Brent Terhune? I have to
I
look
have
him up.
not.
I love,
I'm not a huge stand-up comedy fan. Like I like people that are funny,
yeah.
and I like one. There's been one stand-up comedy person I've ever enjoyed is Mitch Hedberg because he just told a funny joke, and that was it. And he told a joke. He didn't tell a story that might be funny 8 years down the road. He told you a funny joke, and he laughed at himself usually when he told it.
Well, I personally will be tied up on Saturday evening. So I'm going to be there screaming for Judah. I told him I was going to be obnoxious. But he said he would just drum a little louder so he couldn't hear me. So if you've got zero plans, I'd love to see your face out at Heartland Mini Golf. Me and my boys will be there. We're just super excited to cheer him on, proud of all of his hard work. So big weekend, John. Thanks. I appreciate you bringing all of that to us. And we're going to jump into the housing market update.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. So here I am, of course, Rachel Brainingham, and I'm here with your weekly Hardin local housing and economic update for Elizabethtown in Hardin County. Of course, I just want to mention that all the information I bring to you is from the Heart of Kentucky MLS. It's for the week of May 5th through the May 12th. I do touch on a 30-day market analysis. And of course, if you want to visit hardinlocal.com, Phil has done an incredible job of putting together stats and everything so you can actually start to see the trends of what the market is doing. So make sure to click on housing market update on the hardinlocal.com website. This week's data continues to reinforce something we've been discussing for several weeks now. While the market has stabilized from rapid acceleration we saw earlier this spring, underlying demand remains remarkably resilient. So we had 34 new listings that came on the market this week. We had 25 homes that went under contract and 21 families moved into their new houses. Pending activity rebounded following last week's Derby-related slowdown. I mentioned that when big events happen in the state, obviously, there's usually a bit of a market slowdown that occurs just because everybody's attention is elsewhere. But what we saw this week is it came back just like we expected. That, of course, it was tied to more regional seasonality rather than deterioration of the market. Closings also remained healthy. Transactions are already in motion, are continuing through the pipeline consistently. Average days on the market over the last 30 days declined again. This one is a huge one for us because what we look at is, how long it takes from the day the house goes on the market and the sign goes in the yard until the day it actually closes. And this is trending down. To give you kind of a frame of reference, we were at about 100 days on market back in January. We are now down to 74. This amazing graph that Phil created for us, right at about 97 days on market, we're all the way down to 74 days on market, guys. What that is telling us is that the market is increasing in speed. Things are selling faster. It's a consecutive, look at the consecutive weeks. This is why spring is notoriously known as the hottest sales season of the year. Buyers are adapting to current interest rates. Confidence is stabilizing and well-positioned inventory continues to be absorbed efficiently. We currently have 371 active homes on the market. Okay. So if you are going to look at a home, you have 371 homes that are available to be viewed in Hardin County. Of course, that's across all price points. Here in a minute, I break down those homes into certain categories. We had 112 homes that sold over the last 30 days. That puts us at 3.3 months of inventory. 3.3 is a very aggressive seller's market. Anything over a 5 is considered a buyer's market. We are heavily leaning towards a seller's market, okay? So it doesn't let you sellers off the hook. You still have to do the work to make sure your properties show really, really well, curb appeal, the whole 9 yards. Go ahead and have it staged. Go ahead and have it deep cleaned. Like, do the work, because we are still seeing homes sit on the market for extensive amounts of time, and then those price reductions start occurring. So if you want the most important moment of a home's selling at its highest peak value is within the first 20 days on market. The national statistic is that within 20 days, every current buyer looking for a property today has already seen your home. Now, at that point, after those 20 days, now you're waiting on new buyers to enter the market, and they're going to look at days on market. So make sure your home is properly prepared to hit the market right up front. Average list price is $360,122. Average sold price $325,593. Is actually consistently decreasing. Okay, so things are selling pretty close to value in comparison to what we've seen back, say, in January when we started measuring this. The median home price in Hardin County is $310,000. Okay. Interest rates, just wanted to touch on these briefly. Mortgage rates remain relatively stable. So we're in the high 5 range for FHA, VA, and USDA. We're in the very low 6s for conventional. I have seen people get a high 5 in conventional, but a healthy market, these are about what rates should be. And historically, that's actually well below what they have been historically. My dad likes to bring up all the time that one of his first developments that he ever developed was at a 16% interest rate. So I know that's fun to hear, and it's easy for us to say when you're locked in at a 2 or a 3. However, the 5 range is really a healthy market condition. Of course, you want to talk to your potential seller about something like a rate buy down. Motto Mortgage is offering an excellent one if you want to go over to their page and check it out. But asking a seller to buy down your rate for a consecutive amount of time is certainly an option, especially with the homes that have been sitting longer on the market. To break the market down a little bit, I wanted to kind of show you. So if you're searching under 250,000, so if you're going to go out and look at houses today, there are currently 88 active homes for you to search through, with an average days on market of about 66. So the days on market is important here, because if you're searching under 250,000, that is the fastest moving market in the area. So you're going to need to have your ducks in a row, have your pre-approval letter. And if you find the house, act quickly, move with your realtor with speed. You want to go ahead and place that offer and get it accepted as fast as possible, because that's certainly the fastest moving market that we have here in the area. 250 to 400, you've got a lot to look at. 181 homes. Keeping in mind that 310,000 is the average sale price in Hardin County. So there's a lot of active homes in this category. 74 days on market. It's still pretty hot, guys. That isn't a market that is sitting dead. So if you're looking in that category as well, you might keep those two things in mind. Above 400,000, this also includes the luxury homes that we referenced next, but above 400,000, there are 107 homes with about 82 days on market. That number is really not that high in consideration. So it takes about 30 to 45 days to close on a home. My team negotiates on our buyers' behalf delayed closings all the time. So that category is still moving relatively quickly. Luxury. So this is 800,000 and above. There are only 13 homes in Hardin County that fall into this category. Obviously, understandably, because there's just fewer buyers that are able to purchase at that number, days on market is a little bit higher there. So if you are getting ready to list your home in that luxury division, just know it might take you a little bit longer. And of course, your property is going to get scrutinized at a much higher level. So curb appeal and current condition and having it marketed correctly, those are all super essential to the sale process. Of course, wanted to reference that the Ford Motor Company project in Glendale has brought in a ton of new contractors. So I've been speaking to a lot of the property owners here in Hardin County, we're starting to see those contractors come back to the area and need housing. So that's great for our local economy. It's a lot of money pouring back into the area. So we're, of course, out of 400 plus units, I think my team has less than 5 available as of this morning. So housing pressure, demand for both long-term and short-term housing stays are elevated. Housing pressure often shows up in the rental market first. It's one of the clearest local economic indicators we're currently watching. Okay. Just to kind of give you this week's market call, the Hardin County housing market continues to stabilize at a healthy level, supported by resilient buyer demand, constrained inventory, and grower consumer adaptation to current interest rates. The local economy activity tied to Glendale and the Ford plant continues to place upward pressure on housing demands across the region. So for sellers, here's what you need to know. Well-positioned homes continue to perform strongly, particularly under 400,000, but buyers are increasingly selective, which makes pricing, strategy, and presentation more important than ever. For buyers, the market has become more strategic and more predictable. Competition still exists in lower price points, but opportunities are emerging on homes with longer days on market, particularly in higher price ranges where competition is less intense. At the end of the day, guys, all of this information that I share with you, I want you to keep in mind, it's all Hardin County wide. It's not specific to your subdivision or your home. So if you want a report on numbers based on what your specific property would look like and how it would perform, feel free to call my number. My team and I would love to support you. At the end of the day, housing markets are driven less by headlines and more by local economic behavior. And I just want to reference, I attended a training last week on Wednesday, and they talked a lot about national statistics. And I am very proud to say that our market's performance in comparison to a lot of the rest of the U.S. is dramatically different. Okay, our housing market, which usually drives economies, is very stimulated in comparison to what we're seeing across the U.S. So I know Phil and I had talked a little bit about bringing maybe more of that information back to you all. So we're going to do some work to have that available to you guys, probably on the Hardin local website. Hardin County continues to show signs of fundamentally healthy market with long-term demand drivers still very much in place. As always, if you want a hyper local breakdown for your situation, please reach out. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Housing Market Update.
Rachel's got the numbers, who's buying, who's selling, what's hot on the block. Hardin County Housing Market Update. Hey.
All right, and before Nate jumps into the business buzz, Phil, you have one more quick word from our sponsor, TechTel.
Yeah, if you run one of those local businesses, 2 quick questions from TechTel. 1, is your cybersecurity actually managed? Multi-factor authentication, email protection, backups, somebody watching it? Or is it a plan just we've never been hit yet? 2, is your phone system costing you customers because TechTel's AI enhanced cloud voice answers every call, day or night, even when nobody's at the desk? If you're interested, you can check out our website at techtel.net, tektel.net, or call me or text 270-505-8002. All right. Nate, what you got?
We got to play his jingle.
Yeah, let me get that going.
No jingle, no info.
Business is buzzing in town. Nate already knows it's Nate's Business Buzz. Yeah. Nate's Business Buzz.
We're going to start off in Radcliffe. We're starting off in Scott's neighborhood. And Brett and Michelle, wherever Michelle is. Sabre? I call it Sabre. Is that right, Brett? I've always thought it's Sabre.
I think it's Sabor. I think it's Sabor.
That's
It's
what
kind of
we're
like the office where it was Saber or yeah.
It's the board. That's the
I've always
pronunciation.
thought Sabre. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean. I'm going to call it Sabre. They
We're
opened
awesome.
today.
We're on
359 South Wilson Road. If you remember that location, it used to be yellow, and it used to be Fed Up Barbecue. There it is. It's now, I like the gray. There's a nice window clean in there. They've got something on the door. I think it looks a lot nicer. I went inside today at around 10:30, but it looks great. They just opened right after I left. Unfortunately, they were not open when I went there, but they did offer me a sandwich. I just turned it down because it was too early for me to eat. But that's why we have Brett, because he has eaten there already, so he'll have that for you later. They're going to focus on sandwiches, empanadas, rice bowls, and catering. I did take a picture of that huge menu right there. It is ginormous. I think the prices are okay. I mean, they don't freak me out or anything. And they can always be updated. I mean, we know we've seen prices come and go. But I got a couple of desserts, specials. I don't know what some of this food is because it's just not in my wheelhouse. That's why we had Brett and Michelle, and they'll talk about that later. But it's excited to see them go from food truck to brick and mortar, like kind of like what Job said about the grind. But we've seen Pappy's Tacos do it. We've seen Del Val Kitchen do it. We've seen several other places. Juanito's is another one that's gone from that truck to brick and mortar, and I think it's great to see them have the sit down. And again, after I'm done, stick around for Britt and Michelle for their experience eater part of Sabor. More food, because I love food, as you can't tell by my awesome body. Papa John's 3 is now open. I call it Papa John's 3 because the first original one is out by Ring Road, where Ring Road meets 62. That's where you got Walgreens over there. There's a health place there, but over there in the hotel area, that was one. The second one is the one on the north side by John Hardin. This is Papa John's 3. Good thing is it does deliver to West Hardin. I checked with them personally. It goes out to Blue Oval, which is be nice for that factory. It covers 222, which is where I grew up, and 222 is also the main road that goes through Glendale. So those are all three areas that never had that type of. If you go on my
Hey, Nate,
Facebook,
back up like 15
Yes.
seconds. You cut out. You cut out. Back up. 15
Okay, I was
seconds.
going to say, good thing is Papa John's 3 will cover West Hardin Middle School, will cover Blue Oval, will cover 222, which is the main road that goes through Glendale. I did have a map on that they colored in that I posted on my Facebook page. If you could figure it out, it's kind of hard to read, but if you know your areas, if you're an area person of Hardin County, so okay, I know this is north, this is south, you can kind of figure it out. But I did have that one too. If you've been out by the mall recently, Panera, that area, Fuel Fortress sign is up. It's going to be a giant gym coming in there. If you don't know, it's where Joanne Fabric was. It's high end. I mean, high end, but meaning they have good quality. They have lighting, what they do. They have a very vibrant social media following, but it looks like it's going to be a few weeks before they open. I just posted today. They are looking for a general manager. They do have a couple other locations in Kentucky, so and Tennessee as well. So they're kind of regional. So this isn't their first thing doing. So they know what they're doing. As Phil and I got up early Friday morning, it was 7:30ish. We were barely awake. Green Relief Medical Marijuana Dispensary is now going to be in Hardin County. They're at the corner unit of Mulberry Square. If you don't know what Mulberry Square is, that's where Subway is. That's where Batteries Plus Bulbs is. It's right next. It's the shopping center next to Bargain Hunt. So it's over there. It's going to be the back left, what I call the back left corner. If you're looking at the whole property, it's the back left corner. It takes up several of those spots back there. The sign should be going up this week. And as Phil and I pointed out, don't treat this like Cheech and Chong, please, people. You're not showing up with the $50 or $100 and just saying, I want some weed. Not happening. Please, no. I've said it multiple times, and I will say it again because, well, I feel like it, and I might be legally obligated. You have to get a card. You have to go through, meet with people. This is not walk up and go. This is not a weed drive-through.
There's no under the table?
No under the table. Please, no.
It's medicinal.
Yeah,
So you gotta have.
You have to get a card. You have to be looked at. Like this is all followed through. There's a whole website that does it, and this is their. They've also have another one. So this isn't their first. I think there has to be a nurse or a doctor on site. I mean, I'm not. This is an area that's really kind of out of my wheelhouse, but I had to learn more about. But yeah, this is not just okay. I'm going to show up and go buy something. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Also on Saturday, a huge consignment auction. I went out there. It's out in Upton, right off South Dixie Highways, hosted by Frege, is how I called him, and Stuart Sullivan's part of that. I took 60-something photos. It took forever. Did another 5-minute golf cart ride. There's a ton of stuff. If you
We'll
need
have to
picnic
link to
tables,
that.
yeah, if you have picnic tables, they have them. If you want a golf cart, they have more than like Augusta does. If you're looking for a bus, they have one of those. If you're looking for a full camper, they have one of those pop-up campers. Uh, they had a target shooting for, I think, a deer and a wolf. Is one of the first photos I saw. A middle like target aim thing. I'm assuming for bow and arrow. All sorts of trucks, farm equipment, construction equipment. If you want to do a startup, you could fill up everything that you possibly need. If you want to start your own mowing business, they have that. I mean, and they have more stuff. Like I went there Monday, and they were still bringing in stuff. You'll be able to bid online. You can go out in person. If you have kids that like big equipment, you can go out there and look at it all. Again, that's Saturday morning in Upton. I have it on my Facebook. I did a walkthrough video too, but it's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be even more. And last but not least, the E-Town Planning Commission meets tonight. Nothing major I saw on the business side. I do know that there's a St. John Rhodes property that looks to be annexed. People said it was a daycare center. It is not. It's being used by a homeschool co-op group is what the usage is there for. They used to meet at the nature park. Now they've been meeting out there. And then, but no businesses, no franchises, nothing on the commission's meeting this weekend. I'll have a lot more stuff next week.
Awesome.
If
Bill, are
business
you-
buzzing in town, it already knows it's Biz Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's business buzz.
Nate, I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Okay.
So, Fuel Fortress, which is taking the old Joanne Fabrics box between
Yeah.
Malibu Jackson, El Tapatio. It's a pretty big footprint.
It is.
What does that tell us about the destination that's going in there?
Now they said if you go on their Instagram, and they're very vibrant on Instagram. That's where I first learned that they were coming. It's one of their bigger ones. Like so, this is not just where I know being an E10 sometimes, especially when it came to like Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works. So we're used to getting like the junior version. Like no, this is huge. Malibu Jackson's another one. We got a big one. This is a big spot. They're gonna have all sorts of stuff, and it's not meant for the person who just wants to work out once a week just to say, okay, I'm going to be a step climber type of thing. This is intense, driven stuff like that. So like this is people who really want to sculpt their body, who really want to hit it hopefully multiple times a week, who want to be coached and aren't afraid to be coached.
So,
But-
John.
What'd you say?
So, John.
I don't know if I like to be coached. I got my own kind of way to go, but I mean, coaching doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'll chime in real quick. I got a fitness coach back in 2022. They had like a 3-month program, and that kind of set me off there. So coaching is very valuable to some people who probably just want some extra hand holding in the beginning. But then I've developed my own system with kettlebells and stuff that I don't do coaching anymore. But it's hit or miss with if you needed coaching or not. But I'm the draw.
Nate, what do you expect on a build out? How long do you think until they will be in there and open?
I think they were shooting for late summer, which I think is still doable. Because if you go in there, most of the gut's already done. You can see equipment that's in there. I think they're taking over the location that's next between them and El Tapatio because it looks like it's partly cleared out, but I'm not for sure. But if not, somebody else will be moving that spot, but they may be taking over all that too. I haven't seen the exact building plan, but I would say a couple months isn't out of the realm. I don't think it's going to be open by the end of May, but I think summer, June or July is very shootable.
That's a great win for us. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I had a question about Sabre, but because of time, I'll just wait and I'll ask it to Britton during his.
I got 2 minutes. If not, Brenton can answer it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just real quick, you kind of touched on it already about what people should not expect when they go to the dispensary. From what I recall, you mentioned that they have to have some type of licensed medical professional. And don't they have to have like a security guard or police officer?
The person that talked to me was not with Green Relief directly, but that wouldn't shock me. It has to be. I'm assuming you have to have a nurse, you have to have a doctor, probably a security guard. Like this is, it's
Yeah, very
Be
regulated.
in the hospital. Yeah, you have to have your ID. No fake IDs. No McLovins are coming in here.
Right.
It's like a prescription. You'll have to get a prescription from your doctor or a doctor, and then you'll have to have that. It's probably like a controlled substance.
I consider it a controlled substance, yes. But I think somebody said in order to do this, you give up your gun license. You give up your ability to carry a gun because of this.
I've been meaning to look into that. I think that has more to do with the federal law than the state law and the difference.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Kentucky thing. I think it's a federal thing.
And I don't think the feds are enforcing that, but they could. So yeah.
Just be aware.
Well, thanks, Nate. A lot is moving in Hardin County. We appreciate you bringing all of that to us. Britton and Michelle, you're up. Well, Britton, without Michelle, is up. And we're super excited because we're going to go back to Sabre Cubano because you guys were there this morning.
By the powers and the mysticism of recording, yes, this morning. We actually we got a call last Friday. They asked us to come out and to sample the fair, see the facility and tour and everything, and in preparations for their opening today. And Nate was a little early today, and they weren't quite ready. And I will say there's a little bit of a language barrier with the folks. They are I think they haven't been in the U.S. They've been here a little bit. They directly immigrated from Cuba to the U.S. They started out in Florida, and then they had some family up here. And Adrian is a refrigeration HVAC guy, and Yuri, his wife, is started out. Phil, you appreciate this. She's like an economist and numbers person, and they've transitioned to entrepreneurship and food and the American dream, and so they've got a great thing going at a location in Radcliffe that is bringing something that a lot of people don't know about. And it's there's a little bit of education, but over the last couple of years, I think they've done a good job with their truck of educating people of what they have. And I was really impressed with the food. And so the video's a little long, so Phil, we can kind of skip around a little bit if we need to for time's sake. But I'm excited for our viewers to see what Sabor and Cubano has to offer, and excited for them to be able to get down and come visit us in Radcliffe and give them a try.
Yeah, we'll just play it and we'll just see what happens. We got time to watch
There was a lot of food, so the video was long.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Hey guys, Experienced Eater here. We're in Radcliffe, Kentucky, 359 South Wilson. It's the grand opening of Sabre Cubano. Yorley and Adrian have put a lot of time and a lot of effort into getting their brick and mortar ready. They've been in the food truck for the past few months, I think the last 2 years actually, and they've brought some fantastic Cuban food, Puerto Rican food here to the Hardin County area. All right, guys, I'll give you a sneak peek of the restaurant here for Sabre Cubano. You can get over here, you can see they're going to have they got a deli line going there. They're going to have their hot Cuban sandwiches, the grilled Cuban. They got a wall dedicated to Puerto Rico right there, and also to Cuba. And then you'll be able to come down and get daily specials. You're going to be able to get everything you want here, whether you can eat here or take it to go. All right, guys, this is the Cuban sandwich, and I don't even know what. Mama? I
know. It's one of your favorites.
Oh, but look, it's Brit size.
It is. It's huge.
Let's get in here. This has got roast pork, ham, Swiss cheese, grilled bread, mustard, and pickles. And I've got a bite right there with a pickle in it.
It's a good crunch.
That's a pretty good sandwich.
Like it?
That's a really good Cuban.
Look at that bite.
So one of the challenges to a Cuban.
Hey, I really like those Cubans. I don't know if you guys know, but when I was a senior in college, I spent a summer working in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and my job was serving at a Cuban restaurant. So I really started to love Cuban food during that summer. And
that's one of the things I've never had a whole lot of experience with Cuban food, but my first experience, my gateway to it was the Cuban sandwich. And the key to that, I'm getting ready to say that in the video, is the pork itself is being cooked and seasoned correctly. And I was impressed. That sandwich right there was $12. I mean, and that thing, it would feed two people. I ate a little bit. I finished that half that day, and then I had it for lunch the next day. And so their portion size is very respectable for the value that they have to go with it. But there's just something about I think one of the things about not like Cuban food's a lot like Spanish food. There's a lot of depth of flavor, but there's not a lot of spice. There's a lot of spices, but it's not hot. Not like Mexican food or some of your other Caribbean things out there. If you get in Jamaican and jerk and things like that. And so they do a very good job with their spices and their flavorings of what I've sampled.
All right, let's get back to it.
Sandwich is the pork. A lot of times it ends up being dry, but this is not. It's super juicy, super moist. And it has to do with the way they prepare it. So I'm pretty impressed with this. All right, guys, this is the con grease plate. That is white rice with black beans cooked in it. And then this is it's kind of like a potato vegetable, but I'm not exactly sure the name of it. I'll mispronounce it, but it smells fantastic. And then there's the roasted pork right there. And my mouth is absolutely watering. And look at Mama.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Now that looks like a plateful, Britton.
It does. And so it's a root vegetable. You said it has an interesting texture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a soft potato.
It's kind of like a potato. It has a little bit different texture.
It's seasoned well. I like that. Now, black beans and rice are a big thing in Cuban food. And so she was saying how they do this special.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's good.
It's got good flavor. It's seasoned. I like it. This is the coup de grace right here.
Yes.
This roasted pork. I'm excited about this.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Oh man, it's fatty too. Flat sort of
Well, fat is flavor.
Oh, that is good.
So
Nice.
the root vegetable is the cassava root, and they call it yuca. And so it's kind of like a potato, but it was not as firm as a potato, but it had a very similar taste. I can only imagine that if you'd taken, they serve that stewed. If you would have taken that and like whipped it and made it like we make mashed potatoes, that would be something very interesting because it would be super silky smooth. I mean, it was just because it was very smooth and very very soft the way they had it prepared. So it'd be very interesting to see how that would be in some other preparations. But for something I'd never had before, I was really that was not nearly as unpleasant as I thought it was going to be. Sometimes trying some things like, I edited it out, but they have the plantains where they take the green plantains, they boil them, smash them, and then they kind of fry them. And I'm not a plantain person. I just can't get over the hot banana concept. But I will say that their plantains, I had them, and they were actually very tasty for what they were. I still had a little, not my favorite thing, but they executed them very well. Now, leading into here, my favorite thing that we had are those empanadas right there.
We had John to do a little comment, but apparently my emojis don't show up on here.
All right, we got ham and cheese croquettes here with I think she said it was like a cilantro lime sauce. Then we have our empanadas of beef and the chicken, and then we have. All right, we're going to get into this croquette right here. Gotta give it a little sauce. How that goes. Wow, that's different than any croquette I've ever had. I've had ham and cheese before. This has got kind of an allspice or a clove seasoning to it. That's really good. It's definitely different. All right, so this is something that I'm a junkie for. I love empanadas, which they're basically fried pies. So this is the beef. She hand fills these. It was homemade dough. I saw it, and I mean, look at the braid on there. I mean,
Yes, I thought that was beautiful.
it was gorgeous, and it smells good.
So you have a beef and you have a chicken.
Very crispy. That's got really good seasoning in it. I really like it. All right, you have time to chop chicken there, Mom?
Sure.
One bite here.
I could hear the crunch.
That's really good. Those are both excellent,
All right, I'm going to have to try them too.
for sure.
Very nice.
So I had a really good summary video that we took in the parking lot to wrap everything up, and it didn't save. So as I was editing it together, I was like, well, I can't go out in the driveway and do that. So But I'll give the wrap up here. The food had great flavor. The value was definitely there. The Congress plate, I think, was under $15. The Cubans under 12. The empanadas were $3 each. For food truck, their pricing is under food truck or under your standard norm for that. And I'm very excited for the brick and mortar because I think in Radcliffe they've got a great concept with the with the grab and go, because Radcliffe's a lunch town, and I know for us, just being business people in town, having a place where I could go in, I could get a to-go plate, go down the line, pick what I want, go out the door, go back to the shop and eat as I'm doing what I need to do. I mean, I know that applies to a lot of our Fort Knox folks and a lot of the people out on post that need that style of food. And like I said, they're authentic and they are definitely doing it right. You can tell it's like somebody's mama cooked it, and that's always the best kind to get.
I typically
John said no bananas, Foster.
I typically try to avoid brand newly opened restaurants because it takes a bit for them to get in the rhythm. But I feel, would you say that this is going to be a bit of a different experience because they've already perfected the menu, they already know their product, they're just rolling it inside of four walls? Would you say that experience is probably going to be a little bit of an easier adjustment here since they're not starting from scratch?
I would hope so, but I also know that you're dealing with the people and you're dealing with the public and you're dealing with change and their routine and the way they serve change their space and their operation. Anytime that you get to be first and go to a place, give them some grace because they're going to need it. Because even the best experts and professionals that have been in the restaurant business and they're opening their third or fourth restaurant, they're going to have those challenges and those things because it's just everybody's not going to be that experienced and be that new. And so you've got to do that. You have the rush and the excitement and new people. And I remember back, into my childhood that when my mom opened her restaurant and had her soft opening, her place seated, at that point in time, the way it was set up, seated over 100 people. She had expected to have lunch for, maybe have 20 tickets that day. And when she opened, within 30 minutes of opening, the entire restaurant was full.
Oh my!
And I remember the chaos and the panic and everything that came with it. And, and that's, you have to prepare for that. But at the same time, it's very appreciative when people give you grace as you're learning that system and getting those kinks and everything kind of smoothed out. And, but I think that Adrian and Yuri will do a great job of handling that. I didn't get a chance to ask them if they're still going to use their food truck and be in different places. Probably not during lunch, but maybe go for evening and things like that. And then, but I also know they do some catering and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how their business overall evolves after getting their brick and mortar open.
Awesome.
What do you think, Britton? This was a food truck in Hardin County for 2 years and just opened their first real storefront, I guess a couple hours ago now. Yep. What's the moment? Because I've heard you mention it before. Was there a moment you thought you knew they had something? Was it a dish? Or was it just how they run it, the food truck?
Well, I have eaten with them before, and I'd had their Cuban before, and I'd had their and I knew they had something special. A couple of I guess it was last summer. I went to the last fall. I went to the cultural festival in here in Radcliffe, and they were set up, and I was going to go and get some stuff and do a review. And they had only been open about 2 hours, about halfway through the festival, and they had sold out of a lot of things. Like I didn't even try to eat there because everything I said I wanted, they were sold out of. And so I knew that was the sign that they have something special because they were sold out before several of the other trucks that were there. And so, then I've had a chance over at the Optimist Park in Vine Grove on Friday nights. I've eaten with them there. And I will say this: I've only had the Cuban sandwich up until this point, and then a couple of their side items. But yeah, but after eating their food, the food's on point. Now I will tell you this: to make it in a restaurant, there are countless, like tens of thousands of people that were great cooks and knew their way around the kitchen that have opened restaurants and have crashed and burned. And that's because there's a lot more to it than just the food. You got to deal with the people, you got to have the service, and then if you're not a numbers person and understanding exactly what your margin is, I mean, it's going to be tough. Now that's where Yuri Yearly is, she's a numbers gal. I mean, she's got that background. So I guarantee you, she's got it. She knows down to the cent what it costs to prepare. She knows what the raw materials are. She knows what the labor cost is, and she knows what it's got to go out the door for them to be profitable. She knows that.
Hey, Scott, did you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit about, because I've never ate there, and it's been a while since I've had Cuban food. So whether it's me or somebody else, what you said you tried the Cuban sandwich and a couple things, or what would you tell people to order and what to expect, like flavor wise?
Well, they have pictures up, so that helps. They've got some different pictures of different things. Their plates are going to be a meat and a couple of sides. The congrees. I can't remember what they have. A beef plate, and they have there's a chicken plate also, and they alternate those.
Okay.
But what I would tell you with Cuban food, what to expect are deep flavors. It's comfort food. It's not going to be exciting as far as like a lot of spice or just like punch in the mouth bold flavors. They're kind of like a warm hug. And so now I will say this though, if you go with the Cuban sandwich, you better like yellow mustard, because yellow mustard is the way that goes. And that's but like anything else, like when I had their sandwich, you could taste the yellow mustard, but the flavor of the pork and the other things on the sandwich, it went together very well. They had the proportions right.
Okay, good.
Well, awesome. Well, that is Saber Cubano. They're at 359 South Wilson Road in Radcliffe. They are open as of this morning. Cuban sandwiches, empanadas, rice bowls, and of course, catering for your next event. Phone number that they can be reached at is 270-723-8822. And then at Saber Cubano Kentucky on Facebook and Instagram. You want to go support this brand new local business on day one. So get out there, try it. Let us know what you think. Britton, thank you so much. I'm super excited to take my boys there, and we will definitely have to taste test and see what we think. It'll be a new experience for the family.
You can feed all three of you with the Cuban sandwich.
Perfect. I don't know about the mustard piece. We might be in trouble there, but all right, guys. Well, before we wrap up, I want to just check any comments. It looks like we are good. So any shout outs that anybody has before we move through the ending?
Well, I know you got a shout out, so I'll add this one into it because it's a comment from Carrie saying we will be there. I think she's talking about at Heartland Mini Golf on Saturday.
Super proud, Aunt. I know I've mentioned that a couple times. I'm so excited to watch the little boy that was a little round roly-poly now as a 16-year-old playing on the drums. He's going to be so embarrassed that I said that, but just where did the time go? Like it's crazy. So very proud of him and his friends, B. Robbins and Patrick Rout. Can't wait to watch all three of them. Hope you can come out. Heartland Mini Golf.
I do have
time. Period.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I do have one announcement that I just got a text message from somebody at Hardin County. I'm not going to say their name just because, but following a state inspection of the bridge at White Mills this morning, it has been closed to all traffic, including walking, until further notice. Updates will be made available as information becomes available. Okay. But you can look at Hardin County Government's Facebook page to learn more about that.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. All right, guys. Well, here again, one last final time. Here's a little bit about how you can stay connected with us. As you noticed, Phil pulled up on the screen as we talked through the events, the housing market. You want to go to hardinlocal.com. All of that information is there. It's got also the complete election interview library. Of course, that's organized by specific race. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So make sure you follow us there and tell a friend. Follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, follow us on Facebook. Keep in mind that primary election is 1 week from today. That's Tuesday, May 19th. So make sure that you are getting out there to vote, and make sure that you go and you watch our pre-primary interview series, 27 candidates, every contested race, every single conversation is up on hardinlocal.com. Phil, thank you again for doing that. And thank you for our sponsors who made that possible. Early voting is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week, 8 a.m. to 4:30 at the Hardin County Clerk's office in Elizabethtown and the Colvin Community Center in Radcliffe. Of course, Election Day, May 19th, polls open at 6 a.m. They're open till 6 p.m. Any of the 15 voter centers here in the area, bring a photo ID. And of course, questions 270-765-6762. Take the kiddos. It's a fun experience. It gets them out, and they even have little kid ballots that you can fill in. And of course, once again, Omni Design Group and the Plumbing Doctor, both of which supported that entire election series. And we'll drop in the comments the information to contact them. Of course, Corey at 270-769-8339, and the Plumbing Doctor, which is 24/7 Hardin County Plumbing. 765 Plum. Make sure you support both of them. And one more thank you. Phil, do you want to?
Yeah. And one more thank you to today's sponsor, Techtel. Two things: managed security for local businesses. No in-house IT needed, but if you want to make sure you got protection on your email, on your phones, on your backups, for your computers, give me a call. Also, Cloud Voice with AI tools, so you never miss a customer call again. You can call or text me, 270-505-8002. Full disclosure, I do work there and I'm a partner there. And I'd put my name on it either way.
And if you run a Hardin County business and you want this sponsor slot some Tuesday, hardinlocal.com has the form, and we'd love to have you. You can go there on the website and actually click sponsorship opportunities. And then once again, big weekend, lots of events, guys. You're going to want to go try out Saber Cubano as the newest restaurant in E-Town. Don't miss the Spring Fest in Glendale on Saturday. We've got the veterans, the ride for veterans at the American Legion Post. I mean, there's so much to be doing, and the weather's supposed to be great. Get out of your house and be a part of this amazing community that we live in. Phil, Scott, and Britton, and of course, John and Nate, who have already left us. And please tell Michelle we said thank you. And to everyone watching, thank you guys for being part of our Hardin local community. Vote next Tuesday and shop local this week and get out there and enjoy this amazing community that we live in. We'll see you back here next Tuesday, same time, same place. Have a great week, everyone.
Peace out.
Oops.